Yo, welcome back to the channel, Shadows. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. And yeah, let's get to it. We're gonna react to WWE wrestlers who destroy their own careers. There's a lot of them, but let's see who he's gonna mention. Maybe I'll recognize some, maybe I won't, but yeah, let's get to see how these motherfuckers ruin their own career.
The world of pro wrestling, and specifically WWE, is very fast moving. In one moment, you can go from being a main event star to a forgotten jobber, and sometimes a wrestler's downfall in WWE can be blamed entirely on them, and today we're going to discuss a few of those cases. So like the video and let's talk about it. Let's talk about WWE wrestlers who destroyed their own careers.
Alright, let's see if I agree with him.
Brad Maddox debuted for the WWE in 2008,
I remember him.
at first being part of OVW, which was the WWE developmental territory at the time, under the name of Brent Wellington. He stuck around in OVW for a while, but hadn't actually been signed to the WWE, but that would change in mid-2010 when he was finally signed to a WWE contract, sent to FCW and renamed to Brad Maddox. And Brad Maddox would have a nice run in FCW, spending 2 years there, winning the Florida tag titles twice and the Jack Briscoe 15 championship once, because yes, that is a real title belt. It was a title belt that could only be contested in 15-minute Iron Man matches. The more you know. And he was also the final champion for both of these belts, but like I said, he would spend 2 years in FCW, being there from 2010 until 2012, when WWE decided it was time to call him up to the main roster after FCW shut down. He was called up to the main roster in August 2012, but despite being a wrestler and wrestling in the WWE system for over 4 years now, WWE instead opted to use him as a referee instead. He would start refereeing random matches on TV and would of course be the referee for the CM Punk vs Ryback match at Hell in a Cell 2012, where he would be introduced to WWE fans after costing Ryback the win and the WWE title. Brad Maddox would explain his actions, stating that he always dreamed of being a WWE wrestler but kept on getting rejected, so he cost Ryback to try and make a name for himself and get a job with the WWE. An interesting idea, but one that would ultimately be a bust, as Brad Maddox was presented as nothing but a jobber after this.
True.
He would start a storyline where he would hang around Raw and SmackDown trying to get a job and facing top stars to try and earn a contract, but just getting squashed. And after this concluded, WWE would go into the next idea for Brad Maddox, which would be to make him the Raw Assistant General Manager to Vicky Guerrero, which they did on the February 18, 2013 episode of Raw. However, he ultimately lasted only 4 months in this role, as in July, he was promoted to the main General Manager position. Brad Maddox, though, wasn't very memorable as Raw GM, and when the Authority were introduced at SummerSlam in August, just a month after, he pretty much became useless in his role and fizzled out as an Authority figure after numerous attacks by Randy Orton and the Authority. He would then be taken off TV entirely and only work exclusively house shows and dark matches, sticking around in the company all the way until November of 2015, with only one match on Main Event and an Andre the Giant Battle Royal cameo being his only TV wrestling appearances.
Damn.
And that was before he was suddenly released from the company that month in November of 2015. And people weren't surprised to see Brad Maddox was released, as clearly the WWE had no plans for him, but the reason he was released was actually surprising, as reportedly he was released for using the phrase "cocky pricks" in a promo during a dark segment. To fire someone.
I heard that, yeah. So my thing is, if that's the reason, cocky's prick, then, bro, this dude, I don't understand how you can fire someone for that, like, because I'm trying to remember why he got fired for, like, I knew it was something stupid, but I just don't remember what. And it's like, he said cocky pricks. It's like, the fuck is, like, that makes no sense, like, at all.
As not only was language like this not uncommon in the WWE,
Exactly.
but it was also literally untelevised. Nobody saw it. But maybe WWE were just looking for an excuse to fire Brad Maddox.
Probably,
Ultimately,
yeah,
though, Brad Maddox
sure.
did pretty much nothing after the CM Punk Ryback match, and is perhaps best known for a series of leaked videos he was involved in, rather than his actual
With Xavier Woods and Paige.
stint in the WWE.
That's Soraya, for those of you who watch AEW.
Bronson Matthews, otherwise known by his real name of Josh Bredel, was a contestant on the 6th season and 2015 edition of WWE
Ah, I
Tough Enough.
remember seeing
if
him,
you don't know
yeah.
somehow, Tough Enough was WWE's reality
Yeah, I
show
saw
where
that.
hopeful WWE wrestlers would live together and do challenges each episode, with the public voting for eliminations,
Yep.
and a winner, with the winner getting a WWE contract.
Yes.
And despite no prior wrestling experience, Josh was very impressive on this Tough Enough season and made a name for himself as the Yeti, accompanied by his signature Yeti call. He was a fan favorite on the show, so much so that he would win the whole damn thing, making it to the live finals of the show and beating out runner-up ZZ to be the men's winner of WWE Tough Enough Season 6. In September of 2015, he was assigned to NXT and would begin reporting to the Performance Center, and in December of 2015, he would start making appearances on live events where his name was revealed as Bronson Matthews, with his official debut match coming soon and fans anticipating it. However, something you might already be aware of is that Tough Enough is completely cursed, as the majority of Tough Enough winners, most of the time, usually don't go on to do much in the WWE, and
It's always like the runner-ups or like one of the last few participants, they end up becoming a star. Let's be
often
real.
met with hostility
The Miz is one of them.
from the rest of the WWE locker room.
Yes, sir.
Daniel Puder, for example. And fans wondered if it would be the same case for Josh, and sure enough, Bronson Matthews' WWE career
See, let me tell y'all something. Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and let me move my shit. Let me
would
see.
become completely
Oh.
cursed.
And Patrick right here, and y'all know him better as Velveteen Dream, and ZZ. I don't know if she's still there. Is she still there? I don't think so. I gotta do my research on her. But those ones are the ones that actually made it to WWE. Now, none of them are with WWE anymore. At least I think Sonya Deville is. I can't tell. But one thing's for sure. I do know this one. He's hangs out with Jason Momoa a lot. So yeah, we'll see. But as far as I know, the only ones that actually made it in there was Mandy, Sonya, ZZ, Velveteen Dream. And he did, but of course he didn't make
After
it
one
like that.
fateful day on Twitter in January 2016.
What he
on
say?
January 18th, Josh was live tweeting Raw and tweeted out saying, "Yup, I like it. Hashtag social jobbers," in reference to the Social Outcast stable, and this was a tweet that would catch a lot of heat from fellow WWE locker room members for his use of the word jobber, and they would start publicly shaming him. Kevin Owens would tweet out, "Look at the veteran here with the big fancy insider terms," before announcing that he had blocked him, and Cody Rhodes would tweet out calling him a dick and telling him to enjoy getting dressed in the hallway. And then there was Heath Slater, who was a member of the Social Outcast, who would clown on him for deleting the initial tweets. Josh would acknowledge his mistake, but the damage was done, and despite finally making his WWE debut,
Bro, for a bunch of wrestlers that slam each other and shit, they are sensitive as fuck, man. I can't. Like, who cares? So what? Some dude, like, first of all, I'm so sick and tired of every time we hear a story that someone has no one gets along with another wrestler backstage. Everybody's like, that's so crazy. It's like, first of all, everybody argues with someone in their job. Let's keep it real. Second of all, ain't no one's dream was to be in the locker room and be all lovey-dovey friends with them. Their dream was to be world champions. So it's like, who gives a fuck type shit.
and beginning to work
Damn.
NXT house shows.
That's a dumb
this
reason to
day
get
on
fired.
Twitter pretty much destroyed his entire WWE career. He wrestled his final match at a live event on July 7th, 2016, before he would be pulled off live events and would sit at home all the way until November 5th, 2017, when he was released from his WWE contract. Josh has not been involved in wrestling since, and whilst it's hard to predict how far he could have gone in wrestling, it's no doubt that that one singular tweet did irreversible
So
damage to
that's
his
a fucking
WWE
tweet. If you get
career.
mad over a tweet, damn, Mandy Rose. I don't care what no one says. I get why they fired her. I get it. But at the end of the day, I'll get my thoughts on it. No, fuck that. Mandy Rose, what she did, was it wrong? Yes. She was purposely doing it. She didn't tell WWE. But that's nothing compared to failing hella drug tests and still being able to wrestle in that damn company. And there's a lot of wrestlers that done that. Didn't Roman Reigns fail a whole like wellness policy? Like they never came out say he failed because of this or that. I'm gonna assume steroids or maybe even weed or whatever. But he didn't get fired. Like I think he got suspended for like a week or two Like, I see. They one source is telling me that, because I read this thing. They told that what the article I read said that because Roman failed a wellness policy, they demoted him to the United States Championship picture instead of the Universal title picture. But then another one is telling me he failed it way back, like I want to say 2 years before that, I think, or a year before that, where it was still the brand split was finally happening. And Dean was the world champion, so was Seth, and he was out of TV for those 2 weeks or some shit like that. So I don't know, but I'm just saying, I get what she did, but in the end of the day, this is the same company that again did Playboy, worked with Playboy and had their wrestlers do Playboy. So let that sink in. Check out my last video. It's called it's Professional Wrestling is Gay. So yeah, I know, real title, but just go watch it if you're watching this.
Mandy Rose was also a part of the 6th season of Tough Enough,
Yep.
but as opposed to Josh, she would finish a runner-up
And she got so much better. That's the crazy part.
on the show, but also as opposed to Josh, Mandy would have a pretty successful WWE career in the end.
Yes.
She was signed to the company despite not winning Tough Enough and would start wrestling in NXT under the name of Mandy Rose. She was used as a jobber at first, but
Yeah.
surprisingly, she would make her WWE main roster debut on the November 20th, 2017
She was a pretty face
episode
first.
of Raw, debuting alongside fellow Tough Enough contestant Sonya Deville, aligning themselves with Paige by attacking the women of Raw and forming the stable Absolution.
Yep.
However, Absolution wouldn't end up lasting very long, as Paige was forced into retirement and would announce the retirement on the Raw after WrestleMania 34, effectively ending the stable, but Mandy and Sonya would continue on as a
Fire
tag
and
team,
Desire.
dubbing themselves Fire and Desire.
Yes,
They
sir.
would move over to SmackDown, and Fire and Desire were definitely in a better spot than before, but still weren't quite there yet.
Yeah.
The two were on the SmackDown brand, where they did all
I
kinds
really
of
thought they were gonna
antics,
win the
such
women's
as when
tag
Mandy
title.
Rose tried to steal Jimmy Uso from Naomi in one of the most wild modern WWE storylines.
That's what I'm saying.
Rose
Y'all want to get mad that she did what she did, and again, I get it, but yo, you literally used her for that reason. It's like they sort of gave the vibes of, oh, because we're not making money from it. Yeah. Because my thing is, let's get one thing clear. She obviously has features. Let's be real. Look at them. That's a big reason why she was on TV, especially when Vince was in charge. Let's just be honest. Let's not kid ourselves here. So I get it, but in the end of the day, it's not the end of the world what she did. And I get it. She posted a video on her private fan exclusive content that had her things out, but who cares? Fuck, acting like we never gonna see
would
tits.
also compete in the elimination
Or like we
chamber
haven't.
to crown the first women's tag team champions, but would finish the match runners up. And Rose would also compete at the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal and the Women's Money in the Bank, but once again, still coming up short. Reportedly, though, she was actually meant to compete for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Mania, but the match got scrapped. And Mandy and Sonya would spend the rest of the year instead pursuing the tag titles, but never reaching them.
Which that was
in
a dumb
2020,
decision,
though,
in
we'd
my
see a
opinion.
shake-up of Mandy Rose's character as Fire and Desire would break up, as during a love triangle storyline with Otis and Dolph Ziggler,
Right.
Sonya Deville was
I love that
revealed by the
story.
SmackDown hacker, remember him, to have messed
Yep.
with Otis and Mandy Rose's date, and this of course led to that wholesome Mania moment with the two of them. For whatever reason though, the WWE never chose to follow up on this, and now with
Right, that's
Mandy Rose as a
pissed me
babyface,
off.
chose instead to pair her in a throwaway tag team with Dana Brooke, which never went anywhere.
It didn't.
And seemingly at some point, WWE came into the realization that Mandy Rose is much better off as a heel, as in July 2021,
Yeah.
she would return to the NXT brand on her own,
Yeah.
as a heel once again, with a whole new look, and would quickly
She gave me Trish Stratus vibes right here. Let me tell you why. She came in, blonde hair, nice ass, nice tits. Let's be honest. Let's just say how it is. She was hot, but she didn't know how to wrestle that good. When she went down to NXT, she was on her Trish Stratus arc. Like, hey, I'm this pretty blonde girl, but guess what? I'm gonna show you I'm a good wrestler. I'm gonna be one of the best. She gave me Trish Stratus vibes. She was what Vince McMahon thought the divas were gonna be. Cause let's be honest, it's not even Trish Stratus' fault, but because Trish was this non-experienced wrestler who looked attractive and who had these nice this nice body, and became and became an amazing wrestler, he's like, yo, put that shit with the divas. My thing is, that wasn't gonna work. Let's keep it real. That's not gonna work. Not every chick is gonna pick up on this. So it's like, what do you expect? So when Mandy was doing it, it's like, yo, this is what he wanted for the divas, but it just didn't plan out. But overall though, I felt like they should have never fired her. That's my opinion. And they handled it very weirdly. Like, she had a historic title reign.
Re-establish herself in NXT in a big way.
Yeah.
She would take JC Jane and Gigi Dolan under her wing, and they formed the Toxic Attraction.
Yeah.
And the Toxic Attraction found great success.
Yeah.
As at Halloween Havoc 2021, JC and Gigi first won the NXT Women's Tag Titles before Mandy Rose defeated Raquel to win the NXT Women's Championship, her first and only title win ever. And Mandy Rose would have
UK Women's title when she unified them, remember.
a long and very successful title reign. She defended the title against the likes of Cora Jade, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Roxanne, Zoe Stark, Blair Davenport, Miko Satomura,
she ended
Alba
up becoming a
Fire,
good
and
wrestler.
more. But in December 2022, Mandy Rose's reign would come crashing down when
Out of
earlier in
nowhere.
that month, explicit photos that Mandy Rose had posted on her exclusive fan site leaked online, and reportedly WWE wasn't aware of the type of content that Mandy Rose was posting and became aware of it after it was leaked. And it's against WWE's policy to be posting this kind of content, and so because of this, Mandy would be made to drop the title to Roxanne on the December 13th NXT episode, before a day later she was shockingly released from her WWE contract. Despite
Tits.
an over year-long dominant title reign and WWE building her up a ton, she had broken the rules and WWE had
But my thing is, that's nothing compared to taking steroids and failing a wellness policy. And I'm not doing this because I'm a simp. Let's get that out of the way. I genuinely felt like I was just like the other guys. I was young and I'm like, damn, she's hot. But then when she became when I started going to high school and got older, and it's like she became an amazing wrestler. So my thing is like, it's not like the bitch is taking steroids or drugs. Like, I get it. It got leaked and shit. But also, it's like, it was 18 and up that were watching it, or 21 and up at least. It's not like there's kids subscribing to that shit that we know, of course. Now, of course, we can assume they lied about their age and stuff, but I'm gonna assume she's on a website that has ID or not. I don't know how that works. But I'm just saying, bro, you could have given her a slap on the wrist, because compared to what other people's done and said publicly and got exposed for, I don't know.
acted on
That's
it
just
by,
me.
as I said, firing her. And it's a shame, as Mandy was easily doing the best work of her career and had really come into her own. But while this killed her wrestling career, maybe it's unfair to say this killed her career as a whole.
Exactly.
As reportedly, she's now making way more money from OnlyFans than she ever did in her entire WWE career.
And that's how you know she wasn't getting paid good. The fact that you making more money off of a website, OnlyFans, than WWE, $1 billion company, shit.
He also hasn't ruled out a WWE return in the future, so hopefully that's something we can see.
Please?
Guys, that's it from me. Like the
She was doing so good. Like, I get what she did was wrong, but like, the bitch ain't taking needles or steroids. Like, the fuck. Anywho, man, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification. Justice for Mandy Rose. And yeah, man, stay safe out there, Shadows. Ricky out.